So, for some reason, Scrapper just takes you to the entrance point of the volcano. You don't really have a choice of where to land. Thus, this sort of just forces you to just retract through the Eldin volcano region all over again. It is slightly different this time around, as it is now filled with Bokoblin archers. So, it sort of makes use of the bow that we got in the sand ship. I guess the whole point of Nintendo deciding to sort of toss in some padding here, making you go through the Eldin region again, is so, well, you get to familiarize yourself with the bow and use it in a new area. So you want to take this left pathway just because it's much faster. If you didn't activate it earlier, you're going to have to use a bomb to but make your way through. And there's a couple choo-choo here, and whenever an enemy draws near to Scrapper, Scrapper sort of goes crazy because Scrapper can't really defend himself while he's holding the water basin. In general, as we make our way up the Eldin volcano, we're going to need to protect Scrapper. We can't let enemies harm him. In fact, if any of the enemies do do some damage on Scrapper, you'll actually have to restart the entire Eldin volcano region again. The scaling of the mountain with Scrapper. You'll be taken back to the entrance of the Eldin volcano. A lot of enemies will drop arrows as a reward, and there's a couple arrows found in certain soft soil locations, so it's a good idea to pick those up whenever possible. There is a wooden shield moblin on the gate here. There's a few ways to get by him here. Perhaps the easiest method, and I guess cost-effective method, would just be to pick up the bombs to the side and toss them at the wooden shield moblin. It'll take 4 bombs to defeat him, so it's pretty good. I guess it's effective in that you don't have to use any of your items or weapons or anything in your inventory. Alternatively, you can use the sacred bow and or even the regular bow, but the sacred bow is much more efficient and it's more damaging, and you can knock out the moblin that way. You can't just run and jump over the moblin because the moblin will start attacking Scrapper, and that's a no-no. We can't let Scrapper take damage. So you're going to actually have to defeat these moblins. You also want to be a little bit weary of not running too far ahead of Scrapper, because Scrapper will pretty much be in your sight in order to follow you, otherwise it sort of gets lost of sorts. Anyway, in this area there are 5 Bokoblin archers in the distance that you can actually sort of snipe at with your bow and arrow. 3 of them are just straight ahead at that higher ledge leading to the Earth Temple. A few things worth noting: when sniping at these Bokoblin, they're sort of out of range where you actually want to aim higher than the Bokoblin to actually hit him. That's because the arrow sort of falls down in the distance. So there are 3 of them there. There's one off the ledge to the right, and another one at the higher ledge at the far right. There's 2 more Bokoblin that are on the wooden platforms ahead, but these are not Bokoblin archers, and they're sort of out of you don't really have to worry about them since they don't really shoot anything at you. Anyway, afterwards, just run or sprint ahead up the incline, and once you reach the wooden platform, there are the 2 Bokoblins here, and they'll give Scrapper some trouble. So you could defeat them. You don't really even have to defeat that second one, but I don't know. Just felt like shooting him with an arrow. So once you're here, just run straight ahead and climb up the ledge here, and you'll be at the entrance to the Earth Temple. So, well, we're almost at the volcano summit. The pathway to the right is now filled with there's some blue Bokoblins, and there's also a metal spear moblin, which is a little more trouble for you because you can't use bombs. You be sure not to let the Bokoblins or even the moblin do much damage on Scrapper. Your best bet, if you have the Sacred Bow is to just stand right here and just keep delivering arrow or Sacred Bow shots. After a number, it does take a number of shots. You do want to charge up your arrow. I believe it does more damage if it's fully charged. I'm not certain about that though. But this is the safest method because if you jump over the Moblin, then sort of Scrapper gets in the way, and then the Moblin starts attacking Scrapper, and the whole thing becomes kind of difficult. So it's better to be safe. Even if you have the regular bow, that's probably the best method to defeating the Metal Shield Moblin. Over here there are a few Bokoblin archers. There are actually 3 of them. 2 of them are sort of in view almost immediately, while another one is off to the left, but only when you like sort of cross this when it becomes visible. This particular Moblin, the bridge is a little wider than those like fallen down towers, so you could actually just jump on over and sort of just slash away, although you do fall the risk of falling and just massive failure like that, but you don't actually take damage for falling, so I guess that's not a problem at all. Anyway, cross the bridge, and we now pretty much can make our way over to the volcano summit. I'm gonna dig up these soft soil spots. It's just a habit of mine. Whenever I see the soft soil spots, I instinctively just dig them up. A lot of extra rupees, treasures. It's worth it. Anyway, with Scrapper following behind you, head on over to the volcano summit. Some of the enemies have changed slightly since we were here just moments ago. There are some fire cakes right at the beginning. That's not really anything new. For Scrapper, we want to run up the incline along the left because sort of Scrapper is like big enough to fit through this area. But in the area below, there are now Lizalfos here instead of the red Choo-Choo that were here before. There are 2 of them, so you do want to battle them. I mean, for some reason I'm having trouble here. It's just very chaotic here because Scrapper's sort of behind you, constantly talking. The Lizalfos are here. But in general, it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, we fought dual Lizalfos over in the Earth Temple much earlier on in the game when we had a weaker sword, so it shouldn't be too much trouble. It's just a little chaotic. There are the Curse Spoom here, and you do have to defeat them, otherwise you're not going to be able to make it across the gap, since they will attack Scrapper, and you won't be able to jump across. So continue ahead and head through the cave here, leading to where Gorko the Goron is located. At this point, it's just a straight path, so run straight ahead all the way to the entrance to the next building. Just make sure Scrapper keeps following you, and just run straight ahead, and this is basically gonna trigger a little scene where Scrapper pours the water onto the frog, and this will lower the flames that lead into this temple. And that's pretty much gonna do it for this chapter. This is gonna open up the entrance to the Fire Sanctuary. So once you are ready, you can head on through and enter the next dungeon. If you'd really like to, you could save at the bird statue just outside, return to the sky, pick up any extra goodies, or do any side quests you'd like. But once you are ready to go, just proceed straight ahead and enter the Fire Sanctuary, where I will see you guys next time.